Wednesday morning. Thank you for joining us here on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Jason Hackett. Let's get to your headlines. Developing this morning, new details on a very violent night in Minneapolis. We've confirmed 3 people are dead and 2 others are hurt after what police are calling a targeted shooting. This happened around midnight on 25th Street East and Bloomington Avenue in the Midtown Phillips neighborhood. Michelle Beck brings us the latest details.
Right now, loved ones are grieving for the 3 people who were pronounced dead on scene. Others are pleading that the 2 in the hospital will make it out okay. 6 hours ago, we saw the sorrow for ourselves at the crime scene. Minneapolis police are not sure who fired their weapon, but they say it's clear the suspect or suspects targeted the victims. The police chief also says a lot of evidence, including surveillance cameras, points to what happened. Investigators, for one, are looking into a car that had some of the victims inside. The chief told us another victim was on the sidewalk.
And I just want to reiterate that now more than ever, we need our entire community to stand up and to not accept this level of violence. And it is proven that if people are able to come forward with information as soon as possible, that will help us to provide some sense of justice for these victims and these family members.
And yet a 6th person was shot overnight in Minneapolis. The chief said it's likely this person was hurt just 5 blocks away and about an hour after the first shooting, the shooting that I just told you about. For now, the chief is not connecting these 2 incidents. He, however, is saying that this relationship, the ties between the 2 incidents, is very suspicious. We know the 6th person hurt is expected to be okay. Back to you.
Michelle, thank you. We also have an update from the National Weather Service confirming several tornadoes touched down during Monday's storms. 4 of them in Wisconsin, south of Eau Claire, and 1 in Minnesota in Rice County near Faribault. Video from Sky 11 shows the extensive damage. Take a look here. You can see buildings leveled, semis tipped, and debris everywhere. The NWS giving that tornado a preliminary EF1 damage rating. Checking the markets this morning as growth of the U.S. economy comes to a screeching stop. You see the Dow down there at more than 600 points. The Commerce Department just reported a gross domestic product rate of 0.3% in the first quarter. That's a major slowdown from the fourth quarter's 2.4% growth rate. The GDP measures all the goods and services produced in the economy. Most economists agree that the tariffs on goods coming into the U.S. are to blame and that President Donald Trump's plans to reshape global trade are likely to send inflation climbing in the United States and possibly trigger a recession. And President Trump is back at the White House today after taking a 100-day in office victory lap in Michigan. While near Motor City, the president touted accomplishments and announced a softening of imposed auto tariffs. Democrats are firing back, calling the time 100 days of chaos and zeroing in on the latest economic indicator polls that suggest Americans are concerned. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest details from Washington.
Hi there. In the first rally of his second term, President Trump pointed to the rapid pace of change in his first 100 days, saying he's delivering on campaign promises while brushing off recent polling showing disapproval of several policy moves, especially on trade and tariffs. President Trump in Michigan celebrating his first 100 days in office with a rally recalling the several hundred days before.
I missed the campaign.
Leaning into campaign themes on immigration and the economy.
Instead of putting China first, I'm putting Michigan first, and I'm putting America first.
Even as he claimed a new message was part of his campaign while defending his tariffs and the economic uncertainty they've brought from Wall Street to Main Street, telling ABC News.
I said all of these things during my campaign. I said, you're going to have a transition period.
In fact, the president's repeated promises to bring down prices immediately were a key campaign theme.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day 1.
Senate Democrats pushing back with marathon floor speeches late into the night.
Donald Trump, you have failed us. He has the lowest approval rating of any president in 80 years.
And while the president insists tariffs will restore American manufacturing and remake global trade,
We're fixing it.
his administration moved to soften the blow of tariffs on imported vehicles and auto parts that go into U.S. assembled cars, after U.S. automakers voiced concerns over the impact to their bottom line. President Trump also responding to concerns over due process in migrant deportations and a Supreme Court ruling mandating hearings, saying he would talk to his lawyers, but arguing it's not practical for the numbers he wants expelled.
Do you think we can give 21 million trials? Let's say each trial takes 2 weeks. Is that what you want us to do?
As the president keeps testing his powers in his first 100 days. Also on tariffs, President Trump called Amazon founder Jeff Bezos to voice his displeasure over a report that the massive online retailer was planning to display tariff-related cost hikes on imported items. Amazon quickly disputed the report, saying the move was never intended for its main site and would not happen. In Washington, I'm Alice Barr. Back to you.
Well, President Trump believes he could bring Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia to the United States if he wanted to. Abrego Garcia is the Maryland man who the White House acknowledged had been wrongly deported to Honduras in March. U.S. officials detained the father of 3 after alleging that he was a confirmed MS-13 gang member. Abrego Garcia entered the U.S. illegally sometime around 2011. In 2019, an immigration judge ruled he couldn't be sent back to his native country where his life could be in danger. The Supreme Court has ruled that the Trump administration must now facilitate his return. Trump and his top aides have said the U.S. does not have the ability to return Abrego Garcia because he is in the custody of a foreign government. New video this morning showing intense flooding in Oklahoma after torrential rain dumped down on parts of the state. This video shows high water at the campus of the University of Oklahoma, which is south of Oklahoma City. Stormy weather and periods of heavy rain will continue in the area on Wednesday. According to the Weather Prediction Center, a level 3 of 4 risk of flooding rain is in place for much of Oklahoma, including Oklahoma City and Tulsa. The area is primed for widespread flash flooding that could become life-threatening. This morning marks 20 days left for lawmakers at the Capitol to finalize the state budget. Governor Walz now proposing to keep funding a unique new program meant to fill the prolonged police officer shortage across the state. The intensive training is meant for people who already have 2- and 4-year degrees looking to make a career change. A department has to apply for the state-funded grants to pay for the candidate's schooling. So far, it has sponsored 94 new officers at 46 different agencies, from Hopkins to Faribault and Brooklyn Park.
I think there's a lot of people that are excited about the potential of this opportunity, but just don't feel like they have the skill set or the experience to be a police officer day one. But I think this opportunity provides for that training.
In his latest budget, Walz is proposing another $4 million for this program. If the legislature passes it next month, it could potentially add another 80 officers. Heartbreak in Vegas overnight for the Minnesota Wild as a go-ahead goal with just over a minute left in regulation gets reversed because of offsides. So there, as I mentioned, about a minute to go here, the Wild scored what they thought was the winning goal with the score 3-2. But the Golden Knights challenged the point, saying Gustav Nyquist was offsides. The top brass agreed, wiping the score back to 2-2, sending things into overtime. The Knights scored after about 4 minutes, securing the 3-2 win. Yikes, just tough here. So now the Golden Knights have a 3-2 lead. Going into a crucial Game 6 for the Wild. They're back at home at the X tomorrow night. Puck drop is at 6:30. Tickets are still up for grabs at about $120 on the low end, so the team has a day to rest up and get ready for this must-win game. The Minnesota Timberwolves just hours away from possibly clinching their playoff series against the Lakers in LA. A win would send them to the second round of the NBA playoffs. A loss, meanwhile, back to Target Center on Friday night. The team says they know a win in LA will be tough, but they're confident they have what it takes.
It's going to take everything we got because you know you're going to get their best shot. They're going to do everything. They're going to throw everything at you. Those guys are champions over there. They have the DNA in them, and they just they're not going to go down easy at all. So we got to be prepared for that type of mentality, that type of physicality that they're going to bring, and be able to weather the adversity and the storm that's going to come. So I believe we're going to be ready and looking forward to it.
Yeah, Uncle Mike there with the words of wisdom. As always, go Wild and go Wolves. Well, this morning marks 1 week until the Real ID deadline. Starting on May 7th, anyone 18 years or older will no longer be able to use their standard driver's license or ID card to board domestic flights. So, if you still need to head to the DMV to get a Real ID, here is what you'll need. One document showing your identity, date of birth, and legal status. and 2 documents proving your Minnesota residency. Also, make sure you know your social security number. But if you can't get one by next week, you can also use an enhanced driver's license or passport. The TSA will also accept expired passports up to a year after the expiration date. As of April 1st, the Department of Public Safety says just 41% of Minnesotans have a real ID. Make sure you stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.